Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Comic Book Wednesday HAULiday Update. Last time we did Batmania and took a look at all the cool Batman stuff I got. Well, I got a lot of other comic book related stuff as well, such as, well, lots of comic books. Also got a couple of comic book related movies and just a smidge of anime. So let's check it all out today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so as most of you will know, I missed out on the hardcover editions. Well, I guess you can still get them, but they're a little bit pricey, and I kind of prefer paperbacks anyway because I find them easier to read, and they take up a little bit less space on the shelf. So, just on a whim, I checked Amazon to see, hey, I wonder if Volume 3 of this series is out, and it was, so I got it. I'm, of course, talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection, Volume 3. There you go. So this is more of the original Mirage Studios issues written and drawn by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. So this specifically includes issues 12, 14, 15, 17, and 19 through 21. You may notice there's starting to be some gaps. That's because they started hiring other writers and artists to do kind of filler issues in between the main story arcs. So this collection only covers the Eastman and Laird specific issues. And there's another series that IDW put out called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics, I think, which reprints all of those in-between issues. So very cool stuff. We're just going to put this right in the middle there. Okay, so next up is a couple of reacquisitions. You guys may remember I did a big video about this, I think it was way back in like 2011. It's around the same time that the live-action movie that everybody hated came out. Picked up Green Lantern and Green Arrow, the Hard Traveling Heroes collection. So this is the newer edition, which actually has it all in one volume. And this actually reprints some additional stories that were not included in the original 2-volume version that I had. So this covers, does it say? It doesn't actually say on the back. Hold on a second. So it's quite a massive tome here. So we have Green Lantern numbers 76 through 87, number 89. Material from The Flash, numbers 217 through 219 and 226. And then we have Green Lantern, Green Arrow, numbers 1 through 7. Just the covers. That was a reprint series that they did. And that's that. So very nice collection of an absolutely pivotal storyline in the history of comics. So I definitely wanted to get that back in the collection, and it seemed like a good time to do so since I just finished off the Mike Grell Green Arrow set. And I think this is a terrific companion piece to that because much like that series, this is very gritty, urban, down-to-earth stories. It was kind of the point of it. Green Arrow was basically grounding Green Lantern and trying to give him some deeper perspective on the little people that he's helping or hindering through his efforts. Next up, this is also kind of a reacquisition and rebranding. I used to have the original release of this, which actually had fewer issues in it. We have the Bronze Age Swamp Thing, Volume 1. So this is the original Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson issues. It actually goes up to issue 13, which it's more of the Len Wein collection. The last couple issues there were illustrated by Nestor Redondo after Bernie Wrightson left. So this contains all of the ones that Len Wein wrote in the original run, and yeah, great stuff. So there was an omnibus edition that came out that reprinted the entire 70s series and then the entire 80s series, like the first, or sorry, not the entire 80s, but the first 20 issues of the 80s series, which is basically all the ones that Martin Pasco wrote before Alan Moore took over with issue 20. So I'm hoping they continue with this, with the paperback series. It should be like maybe 4 volumes, maybe 3 volumes. I think it'd be 4 volumes. But anyway, really hoping they finish it off because I would much rather have this than a big clunky omnibus. So, yeah. So this actually contains the same, exact same contents in terms of the issues in it as the Roots of the Swamp Thing edition that came out a few years ago, which is now out of print. So if you get this, it's all the same stuff that was in that one. Basically the first 13 issues of the Classic series with some additional bonus goodies. All right, so now we get into some Marvel stuff. A couple of fills for a collection I've been working on for a while. We have Volume 3 of Howard the Duck, the complete collection. So this continues the classic series reprints. So this one is all issues of the contains issues of the black and white magazine, the Mature Readers magazine. So it contains Howard the Duck magazine numbers 2 through 7, and yeah. So I've got all of the original series, like in single issue form, and I have the first 5 issues, I think, of the magazine. They did 9 issues total, and I missed out on the last few of those. So anyway, it's nice to finally have those in the trade paperback. And then finally we also have Volume 4, which actually wraps up the complete collection of the classic series. We get the last 2 issues of the magazine. It also includes Marvel Team Up number 96, Howard the Duck numbers 32 and 33, which were published years after the original series ended. Sensational She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk, wow. She-Shells by the seashore. She-Hulk sells She-Hulks by the... Anyway. Sensational She-Hulk numbers 14 through 17, plus material from Bizarre Adventures number 34, Marvel Tales number 237, and Spider-Man Team Up number 5. The one thing that is not included that I'm a little bit disappointed about is they didn't include the adaptation of the movie. It would have been nice to have that thrown in there, because it came out around the same time as issue 33 of the comic, I believe. Or 32. I think it was 32 came out around the same time as the movie, and then they did another issue like a year later just for the hell of it. And not by the same team. But anyway, it would have been nice to have that included in there. But maybe some kind of rights issue or something. I don't know. I know Universal has the movie rights to that. I don't know, but I've got the first 2 of the 3-issue adaptations. Wow, I can't talk today. I got the first 2 issues of the 3-issue adaptation, and I got the Marvel Super Special magazine size edition, which reprints the entire story. So I'm not really hurting there, but it still would have been nice to include it to make it properly complete, because it is part of Howard the Duck history, and probably the most notorious and well-known part. But anyway, we'll just move this over here. Okay, next up, finally, I waffled on this so long that it went out of print. And I think it's actually between printings right now. But I lucked out. I found a third-party seller on Amazon who had it in basically perfect condition, fairly cheap, just a little bit higher than regular cover price. We have The Tomb of Dracula, the complete collection, Volume 1. I think this is going to be 4 or 5 volumes when I think it's going to be 5, actually, when it's all done. So this is the first batch here. So we have, this includes Tomb of Dracula numbers 1 through 15, and Dracula Lives, the magazine, the black and white magazine that we were doing around the same time. Interestingly enough, this reprint series reprints almost the entire magazine, like the whole thing, articles and all, not just the Dracula stories, which is pretty cool that they're doing that. So it's a very thorough collection. And then finally, what came out just this past Halloween, we have The Tomb of Dracula Complete Collection, Volume 2. So, very nice. So, no idea when Volume 3 is coming out. Hopefully not another year away. But this contains Tomb of Dracula numbers 16 through 24, Werewolf by Night number 15, because that was a crossover issue, Giant Size Spider-Man number 1, Giant Size Chillers number 1, Giant Size Dracula number 2, which I think was renamed from Giant Size Chillers, so it's actually the second issue of that same series. Monster Frankenstein numbers 7 through 9, and Dracula Lives numbers 5 through 7. So I do have the Werewolf issue and the Frankenstein issues, because I have the Werewolf and Frankenstein collections. There is a little bit of overlap there. But I like how they're including those in both collections. So even if you just prefer one series over the other, you still get those crossover stories, which is a very nice consideration. And that is it. So that brings my Marvel Monsters collection up to date. So I've got all of the volumes that they've put out so far. There's a few sort of side ones that are kind of peripherally related to the Marvel Monsters, such as Moon Knight. There's like a 2 or 3 volume collection of the classic series of that I'd like to pick up. And there's Son of Satan is another one. But those aren't like super high on the priority list. The main thing for me was to get the main monsters. And well, I'm all up to date now, so we're all good to go there. Oh, there's movies. Right. There's more than just comics. Hold on. Then I got some comic book related movies. So first up, we got Constantine, City of Demons, the movie. So this was a mini-series. I think it premiered on the DC streaming service. So this basically compiles together all the mini episodes of the mini-series into a movie. And it also stars Matt Ryan again as the voice of Constantine. He basically has become Constantine for all of the other media adaptations, which I think is wonderful because I think he does a great job as the character. He really brings it to life pretty much bang on perfect. And then next up, this one was kind of special for me. You guys may recall a while back I got the complete movie collection of this series, but there was one cut that was not in that collection. Well, they released it as part of the Warner Archive collection. We have Superman the movie, the extended cut. This is the 3+ hour version that was on network television back in 1979 or thereabouts. I remember it's kind of special to me because my mother actually recorded it off television on VHS back then. And it's further special to me because for my 10th birthday party, a bunch of my friends and I all watched it. We watched the 3-hour cut as part of my birthday party. I'm sure my parents were delighted having all those rowdy kids out of their hair for 3 hours. But yeah, so this is pretty notable because it's the first time it's actually been available in home video in any form. Not only that, it's in widescreen for the first time ever, and it's in high definition. So how freaking cool is that? So there's about 40 minutes of additional material in here that was not in the theatrical version. And then it also includes the special edition, which is Richard Donner's definitive cut of the original. So it includes some material from the TV cut, but not everything. So it's great to finally have both versions. And so now I literally have every cut there is of this particular movie, and it's great. So that will be an afternoon at some point. I'm going to sit down and watch the 3-hour cut and get all nostalgic and be 10 years old again. And then finally got a couple of anime titles here. Glad I waited on this because the original Blu-ray release was apparently bare bones. So this one actually ports over most, if not all, of the extras from the old DVD release, and as well as I think has some new stuff. So we have Cowboy Bebop, the movie. I do have the complete series on Blu-ray as well. In this beautiful steelbook edition. It's very, very classy. Check it out. Yeah, nice stuff. I still have to finish watching the TV series, actually. I've got, like, I don't know, 6 or so episodes left of that. And then, here, I'll put it, I don't know, where are we going to put it? We'll put it here. Superman will be better on top of the, yeah, better have the heavy one on the bottom. Yeah, so looking forward to checking that out after I finally finish watching the series. And then finally, classic TV series, once again gets the deluxe treatment from Discotech. We have Lupin the Third Part 2, Collection 2. So this includes episodes 41 through 79 of the famous Red Jacket series of Lupin the Third. And also worthy of note, this contains the last half of all of the English-dubbed episodes that Pioneer put out a few years back. So collections 3 and 4, which I think will wrap it up, will be, for the most part, Japanese with English subtitles only, because there's no English dubs for them, with the exception of 2 episodes towards the end of the series that Streamline did dubs of back in the day. I have the old VHS release of those 2 episodes. So Discotech has already said they got the rights to those audio tracks, so they will include them when they get to those episodes in the sets. So very cool. Love me some Lupin. Can never get enough of him. He's just such a fun character and a fun series. And there you go. That is it. So quite a pile of stuff. Definitely made a dent in the trade paperback comic collection this past couple of months. Some long-awaited fills and some reacquisitions there, which is and some new stuff as well, of course, which is great to finally have. Alrighty, well, that is it from me to you for now. So big thanks to you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors for sponsoring. And, yeah, be sure to catch me live on Twitch. I'm there pretty much every day doing something. You can actually see me making these videos if you feel so inclined. And sometimes I play video games there as well. And if you're a Patreon sponsor at any level, you can actually get access to a couple of exclusive playlists that have full archives of all the stuff that I've done on Twitch that you may have missed out on. Because if you're on Twitch, you might know that after a while their videos expire. Like they save all the streams, but only for a limited amount of time. Well, I also archive them here on YouTube, but rather than bombarding you guys with them, I just have them as Patreon exclusives. So if you want to check those out, be a Patreon supporter, even as little as $1 a month. And you can have full access to them. Alrighty, well, I will see you next time. So until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.